Rob will never lead us in on this show. I'm putting my foot down.
All right. Whatever.
Well,
Hey! Welcome to your weekly free corner Späti. It's me cosplaying as Nick Kieran. I'm joined with the full Späti gang. I'm joined by Julia.
yay! That's all I say
Nick.
today.
We also have Nick on the call.
Hi.
Or not.
And we are also joined by big boy himself, Rob.
Ladies. I have been listening to the new Fiona Apple album. You know, if you want to talk about it, I actually gave it a 10. You're welcome for that. I wrote Pitchfork. So, you know, if you want to talk about her wonderful artistry, you know, just message me on Twitter.
Okay.
Is this like Rob's equivalent of wearing one of those "This is what a feminist looks like" t-shirts?
Yeah.
No, because
Ah,
I actually
cool.
did something. I got her the 10. That's practice.
How did you get her
I'm
the
good
10?
friends with what's his face, the Pitchfork
Anthony
guy.
Fantano?
Johnny Pitchfork.
I'm like the deer hunter artist.
Oh.
All right, we got a bit of a grab bag of general news going around the continent today. News from around the world. Mainly that Germany is slowly reopening, kind of, maybe. Let's see how this works out.
Seriously?
First day out the feds. What are we all doing? I'm going to get my hair
The
cut.
crowds push forward.
Wait. Reopening just like the lockdown or the borders as well?
Reopening the front. The Germans pushing in towards Belgium.
It's the thing. One of the actual official things they're doing. Schools are coming back on May 4th.
Yeah, I know that.
Some shops will be allowed to reopen next Monday.
Yeah, there's
with
this
this-
weird thing.
To this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing about like they can only be like smaller than 800 square meters or something.
Yeah, which is pissing me off because the only thing I want to be open right now is IKEA. And IKEA is definitely bigger
Coronavirus
than
is
that.
claustrophobic. It gets confused in small spaces, so it can't transfer.
Isn't it like? But seriously, isn't it like crowded, like small places? Isn't that more dangerous?
I think that like either or are dangerous. Like this, the
Yeah.
thing is that the idea then of like making I don't know, like Germany is so calculated that their stupidity just shows like very obviously. It's like the whole thing
Yeah.
with the when they had the like lockdown park thing, and there was like you can't sit on the grass. It's like, well, wait, why not? Like the coronavirus likes grass.
Yeah.
It doesn't like the pavement
fire
that then you
type
can walk
Pokemon.
around on.
Yeah. Well, as the poster that Yulia found today is that says coronavirus is killing animals.
Yeah.
And whenever I eat grass, I really hurt because I don't have an appendix anymore. So the grass is cronavirus.
Yep.
That by the transitive property.
The floor is coronavirus.
The floor is coronavirus if
a
it's
new
800
game.
square meters large. If it's larger than 800 square meters. So yeah, to answer your question though, Rob, what's the first thing I'm doing? I'm getting a fucking haircut.
I actually probably won't get a haircut. I don't know. I'm not. My classes are starting again. They're home. Like everything's closed. The library's closed, so I'm not going to leave.
I heard they might open the libraries again.
That would suck because then I have to give back these books.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just heard that my therapist told me. I don't know if that was nice of her. It's like,
That is nice.
I don't wanna like pressure you or something with your papers, but the libraries are reopening. All right.
Why don't we just like continue like through all this and like everyone just stops going to school, man? Like, what is education, bro? Like,
Actually, there's this fight by Abiturienten right now to establish a Durchschnittsabitur, so that you get your Abitur by just like the grades that you had, that you don't have to write all the exams for it. Because they say like this is ridiculous, just postponing it 2 weeks, you know, and then let us all sit together and in these situations and write our Abiturprüfung. So they're like, okay, let's do it. I think they did that during war times as well. You can get your Abitur, you know, from just your grades. happened.
Which war?
You know which one.
You know, the one that did things to, the one.
The one, yeah. Well, the second.
The Yugoslav War.
Franco-Prussian War.
Exactly. Ja. Der 30-jährige Krieg.
The 2006 Russian-Georgian War.
Yeah.
Germany kind of overreacted on that one. we could have sworn it was coming this way. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Gazprom had like enough of like the German energy market. They just wanted to be safe.
Gazprom was too busy with the war that there was just a collective gas leak in the country of Germany, so we all started freaking out.
Yeah, just like the entire generation of babies born between like that like 3-month period are just like extremely just like poisoned. Irreversibly like fucking like Flint, Michigan, like.
Oh no. Oh yeah. So in short, it's all kind of, I don't know. So how are people feeling about the fact that it's opening up again? Do we feel like this is too soon, or is this all going to blow up?
I like hate all of this, but not because of the opening up thing, but because of like all of the other stuff, and that everyone is just gonna kind of like go merrily along their way, and like Merkel's gonna like not ever be criticized. So that I don't think that like, I mean, the decision whether it be good or bad of if people go out doesn't matter. It's the fact that then I think that I know that we see like the ridiculous thing of like the people in like Michigan be like, we want to work, and I think that like a lot of Germans have actually a similar mentality. It's just like in a much like different way. But Germans will like, and we'll talk about it later when it gets to like the sense of how just Germany is literally just gonna like, fucking commit like a lot of bad things to the rest of Europe because they want everything to like get back to normal really quickly. And that's the thing I'm really afraid of.
Yeah.
But it gives you life
I'm
purpose.
scared.
I would love to die for Angela Merkel.
You gotta pick. Trump or Merkel.
I'm sending
Those are the
impassioned
two genders.
pleas.
Those are your two queens.
I really think the protesters in Michigan, like, not only do they suck, but it's just uncreative. Like, let's get some proclamations of your you're not undying because that you will die for Trump, and do a public sacrifice.
Yeah. Where's your like? Why isn't like some sort of holy war or dying for the great leader? It could be a lot more fun, I think.
Sure.
Dude, that fucking sucks. Like, you have to die for Merkel. Like, that's so lame. Dying for like one of the most like uninspiring people on the face of the earth. At least dying for Trump is cool.
Sir, Mr. Trump, love of mine, someday you will die, but I will follow you into the dark.
I mean, there's definitely more emotion connected to dying for Trump, or you would get like your personal tweet or something.
Yeah, Merkel wouldn't even tweet you out.
I know. Does she even have a Twitter?
No, she doesn't have her own Twitter. It's a fucking just normal ass.
Pressesprecher situation.
Yeah, it's like Angela Merkel wouldn't even like, even if she did, she wouldn't even do like lib clapback shit. She would just tweet the exact same way as like her Twitter is now. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. She's the like. I had this discussion earlier today with Jan from Hölle 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 about how Merkel is the most like she is the most perfect neoliberal person on the face of the earth, and like I can't think of like a policy that then's actually Merkel's that like is 100% like, except for maybe like refugee policy was like the only one that then she like stepped up and like was like, I'm gonna go against my party and do this and that and that. Yeah. Everything, and even that she like immediately stepped back on. But everything else is just kind of like, I'm gonna consult the experts and the data, and like I finally was like because I've been my battle on this show has been wondering why liberals like her so much, and I think this week I finally realized it. Of that, it's just that she is just
like
a
the
shell.
Speech with her explaining, she's
just a shell of liberal policy. She has no personality. She has nothing that I can necessarily like say that she stands for, other than like Europe in quotation marks. And
Kinda.
even that, it's just like the continuation of like, the European economic progress of like 3 countries.
Yeah, Germany stays
And
winning.
everything else is just
That's what liberals want.
everything else is just phoned in of like, well, gotta consult, the big fucking like, the Franz Josef Strauss Institute or whatever the fuck it is that she gets her shit from. And all the like feuds that then are within her own party are like not even like, I don't know, they're so petty and dumb. Like they're not cool. Like they're not cool Trump shit.
Well,
No, like
Merkel did make Germany great again, but the greatness, the like aspiration to greatness is different in different contexts. So for like a conservative America, it is like some, I don't know, grand, spectacular, death drive. Whereas for German liberals, it's like schwarze Null, baby, and stable governance.
which is
It's great again.
which is still kind of similar to the death drive. It's just that like Germans, for the most part, will be unscathed by it unless they're like poor working class. Which is a number of people growing in Germany. Everyone forgets about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But for people who vote CDU, they're unscathed. And I was actually researching more about the Schwarze Null this week, and I didn't realize that like throughout Germany there are massive black zeros in like city centers to like praise the Schwarze Null.
Yeah.
Like
What?
Yeah, in Baden-Württemberg.
It's a thing. It's a cult. Yeah, Baden-Württemberg,
Wait.
of course.
Last week we joked about the statues of Viktor Orban,
Yeah.
but this is like that.
Yeah,
Germany.
just you
But
can.
you gotta have something you believe in.
It can't be Merkel because god damn it.
Yeah, it's literally
charisma.
it's literally just like murdering the European economy through like destroying your own economy slowly.
Ask Italy about
The
that.
zeros are the exact size and kind of like aura of the black monoliths from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
They just
Oh my
appear.
God.
They appear
Yeah.
throughout just like space time.
And it's like, and Germans are gathering around it.
Just going
Touching
insane.
it.
Just like
What is it?
behaving like apes.
You're gonna find them throughout the universe.
Yeah, it's the turning point in the they don't tell you that in the history books, but the turning points when like Rome started failing to conquer the German hordes to the north is like all these Teutonic tribes encountering like giant black zeros in the dark forest and worshipping them, and then when they touch them, they get the power of the fucking Allspark and are able to kill Rome.
The German-led EU.
Hermann,
You're just finishing the job now.
Well,
Yeah.
the German-led
Oh,
EU
yeah, man,
are
just
like
read
the
the
forerunners from Halo, and in the future, you as Master Chief will get to fight on giant Schwarzenegger's in the
I'm so hoping the next week we find another Halo reference because that'll be 3 weeks in a row.
yay.
Oh, it's not hard. There's so many of those games.
Oh god, yeah. So I guess this kind of leads us to like the next thing,
we
which
should
is
say maybe now because it does fit a little more. We plan to talk about this more next week. For people who don't know, I don't know if we mentioned it on the show,
No, we haven't.
but there's a crisis of no. We did definitely mention the Spargel crisis and how everyone is like, who is going to pick our Spargel with the borders
Yeah.
closed. And I guess it's probably 2 weeks old now. There's an agreement between the German government and the Romanian government to have 80,000 Romanian farm workers come to Germany. And basically it's all like, first of all, it's organized by like the various governments, a bunch of like companies. So like Eurowings are like, we'll fly them there. And then another company is like, and we'll house them and all this stuff. But it's not anything particularly, like, of course, in the context of coronavirus, everyone can make it out to be like, wow, this heroic sacrifice. But like seasonal farm work in Germany is a huge industry. And it's basically the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like it is really bad working conditions. And now it's basically the same bad working conditions, but there's a virus everywhere.
There's an epidemic, and yeah, like I think the photos of like Cluj Airport, like where everyone's packed in and there is like no capacity for any kind of social distancing.
No, not at all.
Yeah. But as Rob said, we'll talk more about that next week. And I think just in general, the more like Gastarbeiter or like the farm workers thing that's happening all across the EU, because as Rob alluded to, this is not like new. This is kind of the situation in like all European countries. I think there was like that whole thing in Spain of like those slave grandmothers who were like picking tomatoes. It's not good. It's not good anywhere.
One thing,
Yeah, it's interesting because
go ahead, Yulia.
Yep.
no, it's okay.
Wait, now I forgot what I wanted to say.
Me too.
Oh yeah. So the first, it was reported in a few news, whatever magazines and newspapers yesterday that the first Romanian farm worker died of coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say the same. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, of course, that all goes along with testing and stuff. Who knows if it's like actually, if enough testing is being done to actually, register the extent of the threat and the problem.
Well, I read it was like because of Corona. So yeah.
But I mean, maybe someone.
But that means like the people around this person, like everyone should be fucking tested. No, like they were all hanging out together at the airport. I don't know, but that won't. I mean, fucking asparagus, spargel is a luxus food. Like it's nothing that is essential or necessary.
No.
It's like so unnecessary.
Yeah, I gotta.
And Spargelbauern are not your cute little peasant farmer or something like that. Definitely
Your babushkas.
No. Yeah, this is like big industry.
Oh yeah.
Like Spargelbarone.
Well, it makes sense.
How they call it in German press.
It all lines up quite nicely because someone who we've I think never mentioned on the show, but who is like a recurring character in my mind and on my Twitter feed is Julia Klöckner, who's the agricultural minister for Germany.
Oh my god! She has great photos.
Yeah, Julia has a whole thing about how Julia Klöckner always is. Just how photogenic she is.
Well, it makes sense she's photogenic. She is a former German wine queen, 1995 to 1996.
Oh, that's how she got that position of Agrarminister.
Well, she grew up in in something that's very dark, like the German wine industry. Just like you have all these rich families owning these vast vineyards, and then she's just like a daughter of one of them, and grew up and then became the wine queen. In this kind of like inner politicking
Not
circle,
my queen.
And then that's like, well, she knows about exploiting workers, exploiting agricultural workers. She'd be great.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why she makes has so many photo shoots. I think like everything she does is basically just posing in front of anything that looks like it is related to farming and or woods. Sometimes she's standing in the woods.
Just in the middle of the woods.
It's a lot of woods. It's a lot of woods. I'm Google imaging search her right now. It's a lot of woods.
Klöckner is just like out there.
She definitely. Yeah, she definitely.
My office is the German countryside.
Yeah, she definitely is a great example of like one of my stereotypical like CDU politicians, particularly someone like someone like her who's younger could just be like the most perfect like what's the Junge Union? Yeah,
she was like a member of Junge Union.
No, of course they all are. That's how you become
the German wine.
Of course, absolutely, of course. That's how it works in Germany. You have to be a member of the thingies.
Yeah.
For a long time, then you go a slow way up.
Yeah.
Except for if you're what's his name and you're kind of cool. Or you're the shitty version of this, or you're like Philip Amthor or something. You're just like.
Can I just make a theory here that she like had some sort of like witch powers to suck all the youthful energy out of Junge Union? Because like she's the only one to come out of this that looks like this, and the rest of them look like some sort of goblin monster. I don't understand. This is not the everyone else in your audience looks like they're like 50 something. I don't get it. All right, this is just weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I just want to make a spicy take. Sorry about the Spargel thing. Maybe I've mentioned this on the show 1,000 times before, but Spargel ain't good. Like asparagus is
you most we disagree on that one, but
you have to think about it. The food that Germans are most obsessed with is a food that then you have to literally boil to then it becomes just gloop for you to enjoy it. Yes, white asparagus is so friggin' hard to cook, and you have a country that then whose like culinary like arts is non-existent, trying to cook this thing that's very difficult to cook. Sorry, get it in the hands of like a chef of another country who can actually cook and has good food. Maybe it would be good, but I'm sorry, like German cuisine is definitely not something that should try to cook hard, like vegetables that are difficult to cook. And all that they do is they just boil it in like sugary water and just douse it in butter. It's disgusting. It is so bad.
I like it.
That I made.
No,
I got no beef
you guys
with
are
Sparkle,
all
it's fine.
pigs.
It's not gooey. Wow, Nicholas. Wow.
I mean, I do not get Spargelzeit. I like it. I don't have a 3-month period of being like, I have to have it all the time.
My life would legitimately be better if I did not know that white asparagus existed.
That's white asparagus. Why does it sound?
Why do the Germans like the white one so much, huh? Ever think about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it sounds like that. Like,
I'm pretty sure
white
this is a
people.
problem. This is a problem when we have like a podcast that's now older than a year. I'm pretty sure we made this joke exactly 1 year ago.
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
I just want
Last
all
Spargelzeit.
our listeners to
just
look
like-
up the German wine queen. Go through the history.
Yeah, yeah. So Julia Klingler is from Rheinland-Pfalz, right? So that is one of the fine, like, the areas with Rheinland-Pfälzischer Wein. So like all wine.
One of the
like that.
one of the 6 meters squared where you actually have a climate conducive to
Yeah,
wine
one
in
of the-
Germany.
Yeah, also one of the smallest little states in Germany.
Mm.
But just to mention, like, that she's not only our like agrar minister, she is also very much against abortion, and
As the wine queen would be.
yeah, and like same rights in marriage for.
Oh yes. Yeah. Well, she needs more soldiers for her wine army, I guess.
So she doesn't like gay people and abortion and yeah.
I feel like this is okay. So I know it's kind of the stereotype of like continental Europeans that they're a bit like, it's like an American stereotype. They're a bit more casual with things like sex and alcohol. Like they introduce kids to those concepts at a lot younger age. And I'm just imagining the wine queen as being this German only character from the like McDonald's character universe. Like the wine queen is because you can get wine at McDonald's in Europe or something. And she's like trying to attack Mayor McCheese. I don't know. I think there's something there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, she also, like, when it comes to like all the fucking farming stuff, she is known to work like on to especially like argue for the side of the farmers in not in a good way, but more in the sense of like animal cruelty and like animal farming.
Or environmental stuff probably as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she loves like fucking what's the name? BASF. So like
chemical company,
chemical
one of the
companies. Yeah.
when the German government broke up, what is it, like Desega or something like that, or
Yeah.
Desuga, because like an old Nazi company, and Desuga and IG Farben were broken up into like 4 companies. BASF is a Nazi company, like just straight up.
Woo!
Also, she loves Nestle, and she honored them for reducing like sugar content in their.
She loves also. She has lots of bank accounts at Chase Bank and fucking IBM and shit like that.
Yeah. She loves like fucking like food industry companies and the big pharma industry and chemical industry and farming industry. So
Various
we all
companies
know.
that would destroy small farmers, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So we all know like what kind of advocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
listening to Fetty Wap's Trap Queen, trying to think of how to make that into Wine Queen, and I got nothing. I'm very sorry.
The only trap queen is from Apple.
Oh god damn it. Yeah, so she's like, I'm guessing she's kind of like the head of this whole drafting the
Yeah,
Romanian.
she's evil.
Yeah, she's evil.
Say it like that. It's so unfortunate
Yeah.
that I share with a name with someone like that. But like, yeah, she seems like a Julia Klöckner. I don't know.
Evil Julia. I like this.
There's 2 kind of Julias. There's either the very cute, smart ones. that are also
And then
kinda
there's
hot.
this bitch.
Or there's the evil corporate ones. The corporate
Yeah.
Julia.
I believe that.
She was like going to be tapped at one point to be like brought up higher in the party, was she not?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And then that seemed to just like fall through, or maybe
Why not? She's doing it. I'm sure they're happy with her work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
now, yeah,
definitely
like
happy
this
with
is
the
the
work.
yeah. She has to like build up her resume. It's like, oh well, you smuggled 80,000 Romanians into Germany. We haven't been able to do that since 1938. Cool. I like your work. Let's see what else you can do.
Yeah, and like, don't they have a bit of a succession problem in CDU at the moment as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because no one liked AKK.
Yeah, so
R.I.P.
they want Mert.
Yeah, Mats
Right, these were real
Mats
ones.
is gonna be like Mats is definitely one of the most controversial figures in that party because he one of the last big things that he voted in like German parliament in before he just like did his like disappearing for 10 years to write his next album was that he voted against a domestic violence bill in Germany.
Yeah, he's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
First of all, he got coronavirus, and I was excited, but I guess he survived because I'm looking at his Wikipedia. It still says he's alive.
Yeah,
One very strange thing
no
about
one bad's
Mats,
gonna die.
I just want to throw this out there. Hold on, I have to find it. He's a member of something that's called the Andean Pact. Does anybody know about this?
Okay, as in the Andes
Exactly, it's in
Mountains
the Andes Mountain.
in South America.
So I'm just going to read from Wikipedia.
I have a thing that this has to do with like German people who live there.
Merz joined the CDU's youth wing, of course, Junge Union, in 1972 and is reputed to be a member of the Andean Pact, a powerful network formed by members of the CDU youth wing in 1979 during a trip to the Andes.
Sorry. Why is the Junge Union?
Why are there Germans in Argentina?
Why are there Germans in
true.
Chile in 1979 under the Pinochet government? That's one question to ask.
Oh,
Okay,
Another one
true.
to ask
I mean, we all know why.
is this was first reported on. I did a little digging on this, like in the past. It was first reported on by Spiegel in the 2000s or something, and they're like, yeah, there were all these like, because they're all youth members on like their field trip, and apparently they're all just like being German lads drinking beer on their plane, and they're like, we're gonna sign a pact, like a brotherhood pact, that we will never like betray each other.
Oh God.
And they've all like risen in the ranks in the CDU since then. And it's very shadowy, like, ooh, who's a member, who's not, and what exactly does the pact entail? But they never like run against each other directly. But none of them, obviously, maybe not obviously, none of them have been like the prime minister, the Bundeskanzler. But maybe Merz will do it, and then the Andean Pact can take off the veil and pronounce the new dictatorship of Germany.
I love the way that Handelsblatt just like wrote about this. In the summer of 1979, 12 young men on a flight from Venezuela to Chile hit on entering an idea to pass the time. Half jokingly, they drafted a document called the Andes Pact, swearing eternal allegiance and mutual help to each other in their political careers. It was a bit. It was a joke, it was a goof.
Hang out with my boys and decide to swear eternal allegiance to a pact we make.
Yeah. At that time that me and Nick swear a blood oath to each other. That was just a joke, like, it was
Guys,
fine.
we're about to meet Pinochet. He has to think we're cool. We need to do a few blood pacts.
We need to practice our secret handshake so he thinks we're cool.
Oh, God.
That's Germany,
I'm
baby.
just I'm imagining all of them when they were young were just like a group of Philipp Amthors.
Well, I can imagine how they were because they probably went to school with.
Well,
But
Merz, I don't know how tall
mean-
Merz is, but he's kind of like more of a lean and kind of like Philipp Amthor is kind of he's like Applebeck, like he's kind of got these like little
Okay, so but
cheeks,
like,
whereas Merz seems a
Apple-bottom
little more
Yeah.
with the fur.
Almonds.
That's
but okay, so like some of the people they have in the Andes Pact in this Handelsblatt article are just real lookers. Jens Spahn.
I do
Oh, King.
Jens!
I do
Yeah,
own the
he's got a bit of a
like spread calendar, 12 months, 12 absolute
yeah.
Wait, he is in there.
lookers.
So they
Apparently,
so they got a bit more progressive. I would imagine them not allowing gay people in their club.
Jens Spahn is too young. He wasn't there. I mean, he wasn't even born in 1989.
Original, but they still have, and when your father was in it, then you can become part. It's like a fraternity.
Just not the same.
It's like Skulls and Bones, but for Philip Amthors.
Oh my god.
Probably.
Oh, sorry. No, this is a new, smaller group of young CDU politicians that they are calling them. They call themselves the Troika. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this is Jens Spahn, Paul Ziemlek, and Karsten Linnemann.
Everything bad, so they picked a good name for them. So
yeah,
I know they picked this name in. Oh, let me see. Hang on. Oh, they're doing some bullshit where they're not telling me the exact year. Give me a second here. They picked this name in 2015, so they kind of knew what they must have known what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Much like once upon a time, the young CDU boys had to impress Pinochet. Jens Spahn and his friends had to impress the Troika, the real power of Europe.
Speaking of, are we talking about Eurobonds?
Yeah, we should probably
that's a good transition, is any?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. This is all stupid. Because I said earlier, in the sense of that, while Merkel was like doing her thing of like, yep, Germany's going to go back to normal, everything will be fine. There was then one piece of them. Merkel was asked about then what's going to happen to the German economy, which then ties into this thing with Eurobonds and all that. That Merkel was like, we need to go back. Like, Germany's currently in like a 1 month budget deficit. My God, how dare they fucking do that? And the I forget what the Leopold, what's the name of the institute? Leopoldina Institute, which is like one of like the major, like apparently supposedly like nonpartisan kind of like, I would say it's a think tank, but it's like a research institute in Germany that's been around for like 300 years or some shit. They this is the thing that's really funny to me is like, while simultaneously in the like Corona plan that they had, talking about how important it is for like combating climate change, they also then said the importance about how important it is to go back to the Schwarze Null, which you can't combat climate change with the Schwarze Null. It is physically impossible. And if you can, I mean, it is simply through eco-fascism. Like, that is the only type of just politic that's going to exist, is that then, like, yeah, Germany may be able to do this, but because Germany's then creating no exports for themselves, what does that do to the rest of Europe? And then now on top of that also is then this new version of Eurobonds, which they're called something different now. I forget the actual name, but for the sake of just the new Eurobonds that are being introduced, which are just new austerity packs.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Like the some of the things the Netherlands wanted to have, which was like, they wanted to have like supervision over the receiving countries, like budget.
Fuck that.
planning.
They should like, manage their own damn economy that is just a fucking, loophole, like a fucking tax haven.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, this thing that pisses me off is that the Netherlands is just as shoddy and shitty of an economy as like all these other countries that they shit on, if not worse, because they have no industry whatsoever.
No, like everyone in Amsterdam could be replaced with like an Indonesian teenager on Fiverr.com. It's a city. One of the things I heard about Amsterdam is like it has more like design agencies than people. Like it's a ridiculous economy they have going there.
It's the future I always dreamed of.
So we've got into the situation now where they've come up with a deal, but like it's kind of garbage. That's my understanding. I kind of lost track of the Corona bond stuff because I was paying attention.
Here's the latest I've read. This is a Bloomberg article from yesterday. So we're recording on Friday the 17th, so it's from the 16th. Leaders to hold strategic discussion about plans next week, but the big pitch is that it is everything but actual Corona bond. So it is increasing its budget and like making it and using all these big words to be like, we're increasing its budget firepower to repair the devastated economy, but we're not going to issue bonds. That's not what we're going to do. Just to read from the article. To read from our someone I would die for, Ursula von der Leyen, an expanded budget should be, quote, the mothership of efforts to revive growth about the coronavirus pandemic. after the coronavirus pandemic, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told EU lawmakers in Brussels on Thursday. So first of all, I love anything that just like sets off the tuning forks of like anybody who's like Eurosceptic. Like I love when they get up there and they're just like, yeah, the EU is the mothership that's going to abduct everybody. We are consolidating all power. But like the idea, like they're just like talking themselves up about this expanded budget, which doesn't even seem to be much of an expansion. I didn't get specific numbers about what exactly. I mean, I guess it's going to be hashed out next week. But they're just saying, yeah, we will like spend a little more money. One proposal is a 100 billion euro employment insurance fund, credit lines of up to 240 billion euros from the euro area bailout fund. But
that is absolutely nothing. That is
nothing.
chump change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we saw in the U.S. I mean, you have to think about the EU's economy is bigger than the U.S.'s technically in terms of GDP output. If we're going to use that dumb thing, and the U.S. pumped in at the beginning of when like there was that hiccup in the stock market, they just threw 1.5 trillion at that did nothing. You know, like I mean, you have to think about it in the sense too of like what happened like in 2008, like 20 trillion just was pumped into bad loans and whatnot. Like that, 100 billion is I don't know, I can't math right now, but it's
100 billion across like what are you talking about, 27 economies?
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially like a bunch of very unequal economies. Like Germany doesn't deserve any of that fucking $100 billion. Just sorry, they don't. They haven't been hit hard by coronavirus either. And they won't be.
Ask Italy.
Yeah.
Because apparently, if you ask the people of Italy, we're in a war with Italy right now.
Yeah.
There have been like comments, stuff like that, like on social media by Italians. Like, okay, there's just one thing we can guarantee you, Germany, like talking to Germany, saying like, the Italian people are declaring war.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. I mean, people are saying like, Germany wants to take over. Like that. I mean, of course, you have a lot of weird rhetoric in that, but they're not wrong with saying, yeah, Italy's left alone.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of like weird Dutch reply guys as well. That was a thing that was happening last week.
Oh yeah, the guy that I told that he like just to fuck me.
Wait, he wanted to go. He told David Adler to go fuck a pizza.
Yeah.
For because that's Dutch anti-Italian humor, I guess.
The thing that was funny is that the dude, that guy who tweeted that out is Greek.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he has a Greek flag emoji in his fucking thing. It's like, have you no shame, sir?
Sir, have you no shame?
Yeah. The thing that is just like really funny to me about all of that is like, one, obviously, like Germany's dominance of the European Union and just the European economy should be dwindled. I don't mean this as like an
definitely.
Yeah,
no.
I don't mean this in like an anti-George sense of like that. Oh, Germany's bad. It's that Germany is
all power should be given to Israel over the Eurozone economy.
Yeah, we're gonna get
it's
rid
like
of
Eurovision Song Contest. It's like,
I've been posting like
Israel.
Slay, like Andrew Cuomo memes, but about Benjamin Netanyahu and his response now. He's just been so good.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it started with like blocking the export of fucking like Schutzmasken, like face mask, and stuff like that, and also the suits, the Schutzanzüge.
The fact that
those medical ones,
PPEs, right? Yeah,
and
PPEs,
and Germany didn't need them, and Italy did need them, and I mean that is already like a big fuck you to Italy, especially during like their peak in Bergamo and the Lombardy in general. So.
Yeah. The thing too that then is just so amazing to me is that Germany would rather than strike a deal with the U.S. with Jens Spahn would rather strike a deal with Trump in the U.S. that luckily got shot down by the rest of fucking the CDU whoever of making trying to do research for a U.S. only vaccine, than to actually support countries within the like that are very close and that could spread the virus through your own country very easily. And on top of that, also just like I don't understand why these decisions are made by then the like individual economies of Europe You know, like if there is supposed to be then like independent oversight from the European Central Bank and from the Eurogroup and from these institutions, which obviously don't exist, as we're very much aware of. I don't understand why there wasn't like a push then from these from a body that then isn't connected to, let's say, the German government or the Dutch government or whatever, just being like, well, the seeing the damage that is happening in these countries, we're just going to extend then euro bonds on our own thing. But because the European Union because the European Central Bank and the Eurogroup doesn't function that way, like we were talking about with Riley, is that then the ECB can't function actually and do monetary policy. Like they can't function as a central bank, and I think that then the involvement from the individual member states in it is one of the most destructive things, because yes, it comes into the sense of that it will come down to what Germany wants, and that's simply it, and maybe what France wants occasionally, depending on what day of the week.
What are they doing right now?
Oh, have you not seen? We're getting Doomer Macron now.
Oh,
yeah, we got black pilled Macron. It's great.
No way.
Because Macron has actually been, I've been very surprised by this, but he's actually been in favor of what he's phrased a couple of different times in different ways, but like financial solidarity. He was like one of the first, he was one of the signatories to, or his finance minister was one of the first signatories to the whole idea of we need Corona bonds. Like he was on Italy's side for this, which is surprising from Macron.
Yeah.
But I guess just let him make a couple of French startups and he'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But he's now speaking to several articles. He actually had a Financial Times interview Thursday from people listening at home. That was basically like, if we don't do some sort of redistribution of wealth or set up some sort of large, substantial EU-wide fund for economic recovery, the EU is gone. There is no EU.
with him for once. What the fuck?
Yeah, because this is Doomer Macron. This is a very different Macron.
So Doomer Macron is literally just an existentialist then.
Yeah,
I mean,
all Doomer French people.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm sorry, Doomer Macron is just Macron in a black turtleneck.
Why are all his photos in black and white now?
Macron just looks like all those photos, just smoke.
He smokes.
Yeah, he's smoking now. He has 3 girlfriends.
Yep.
Well, that's very French presidential. Come on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Emmanuel Macron, this is from FT, has warned of the collapse of the EU as a political project unless it supports stricken economies such as Italy and helps them recover from the coronavirus pandemic.
Damn, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, I guess, okay, if I'm going to put on Kieran's ultimate pessimism hat, this could just be Macron does shock doctrine to Italy. And at the end of this, we just get this weird, Macron presents the, the electrical grid of Italy, where he just owns everything now. But that's probably better than, well, no, it's pretty bad. But no, that would be terrible. But they are talking about bailouts. I think the thing with all of this would be, and I don't know how much detail he's gone into, it's devil's in the details, because he could be arguing for the same thing the Dutch were kind of arguing for, which is give Italy money, but we also have veto power over what they want to spend it on.
Yeah.
That is,
there's a lot of different ways you can do this.
Yeah. That is 2009 Greece, right?
Yeah.
And 2011 and the austerity packages. And that was the thing too, is that there was obviously this the skepticism of it is that then one. And it's the same thing that we talked about too with the Green New Deal, that Ursula von der Leyen introduced her Green Deal bullshit thing that ended up just being
it's not new.
Yeah, no, it's not new. It's actually not very green. It's not a deal either. It's just these bizarre austerity packages of green things. And
but we give it a fun name. It sounds a bit like the Green New Deal.
And I genuinely think that then like the manifestation of then like, okay, Italy is going to take on things that these are absolutely not bonds. Of course not. They're going to, like, I think Kieran's right. It'll be like, oh yeah, you have to privatize your water or some shit like that.
We own
Give it
all
to
pizza
Nestle.
now.
Yeah. Like, there's going to be the most...
Nestle presents Naples.
Yeah, there's going to be the most psychotic things within these bailouts or whatever it is, because that's how European austerity always works. Where it's like in the sense of in the U.S. it'll be just like, well, we have to bail out the rich people, but then it's like all okay, and we'll get through it one way or another. It's a different type of evil, but I like the way that the European Union, the way that the ECB and all these kind of things and function within it is just like this peak neoliberalism to the point of like, oh well, you're gonna do this. You're like, you can take on this money. We're gonna then monitor what you can and can't spend it on. By the way, there's like these like clauses that say that you have to like auction off in like 10 years X, Y, and Z to the first bidder. By the way, the first bidder is gonna be Germany.
Give us all your port.
Yeah. And in the end, it's going to be no surprise, similar to then with the Greece situation of then why they're going to start turning to Chinese investment more, as Greece has been doing. And I'm not going to say that that's a good or a bad thing, but it definitely is. Power is weaning from the European institutions if they allow that to happen, which they're going to. Like they just simply are.
Well, another
so there's a couple.
Well, like another
Rob,
side of it is like. You can question how like feasible it is or how many people are actually like on that side, but there is a lot of talk, like we talked about with the actual European Green New Deal. There is like a rising narrative, I would say, of like using these supranational organizations to do things like, things other than austerity, And it might seem surprising that in a moment of crisis, the European Union is so like, I don't know, people say there's a lack of creativity, there's whatever, like it's not willing to like take risks or like try to do things. But I think they see like, no, now is the time for discipline. There's a lot of voices out there that are trying to turn these tools against what we think these tools are for, or like to even try to come up with some way to make these tools a little better, And they're like, this now is the time for discipline.
But this is kind of flying in the face of like the public perception of what the European Union is for. We talked about this I think 2 weeks ago and previously in Europe of like, but like the whole idea of like maybe the European Union coordinates a coronavirus response. Like these are the kind of hypotheticals that were being thrown around in like the Brexit debate about why the EU would be good. There are things that you need to collectively respond to, like things that are bigger than Italy or France or Luxembourg. My apartment's bigger than Luxembourg. But like, it's but now it's like kind of being shown that actually. They don't do that. And I wonder if that contradiction between like what public thinks the EU is for versus what it actually does, which I agree what it actually does is more in what like Rob is talking about of these are punishment tools. You've been a bad Italy. I wonder if that contradiction will actually reach any kind of boiling point that results in any kind of change because going to what Nick was saying of like this event as possibly a rise of China, which is kind of backfiring now with the whole like African racism thing because China had built a lot of goodwill in Africa and now it's kind of been ruined we'll see how they handle it. But like now that like the EU was in this position to do what European powers have always kind of done ever since European powers weren't on top of the world anymore, which is, we'll just go wherever has the most money. But now I'm afraid that the European Union or Europe in general is just so intrinsically tied to the fall of the United States that we're just going to become some sort of like, I don't know, future Ukraine. Because like
I too want to be a U.S. vassal state.
Yeah, but it's a situation now where like you only have really like two contemporary examples of former superpowers in the world that you can look to of like, here's what it's like when you're no longer a superpower. You have like Western Europe or you have Russia. And like, is the USA and its like vassal states going to become dash cam videos and neo-Nazi marches, or is it going to become like post-war consensus, have a little bit of social democracy, just leave us alone kind of bullshit? I don't know. Can Europe successfully pivot to China, or are we going to be punished for it not being friends with China enough?
No matter what happens, only the UK is going to be the Ukraine to America's Russia.
Russia. Oh, sorry.
No, go on. Speaking of Russia.
Yeah, they are planning on like this. They have like a tracking app. So every time you want to go outside, you have to download it, and it has like a QR code or something, and then you're gonna like use it. Like if you like every step you want to do outside, it's gonna be like tracked. In the sense, I don't know what this QR code is for. I just know it's something about it.
No one knows what QR codes are for. That's why no one uses them.
I don't even know how to use a QR code.
Well, Russia does.
I don't know how to use a QR code.
I know how to get on WhatsApp on my computer. That's QR code.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
but yeah, no, that the whole tracking app thing. They did that in South Korea and China as well.
With a QR code though.
I don't know if it was. Well, actually, China actually does use QR codes actually quite a bit, because typing things onto a phone in English when you're a Chinese native speaker is a bit of a bitch. So they thought it would be easier to just put QR codes everywhere and point your camera at it. And also, there's like one app in China that's basically WeChat. WeChat does everything. You can pay for things with WeChat. You can
again like Soylent.
Yeah, you can open. Yeah, you can open your co-working space in with your WeChat. Yeah, it is a WeWork. They had a WeWork in Shanghai, and I was like, I feel like that's my ultimate argument against the whole like, is China still communist? It's like, why do they have WeWork?
Exactly. Nope.
Well, hold on. As a proper dangist here.
All right, can we run through this quick update of the Corona bond situation? Yeah. So I'll just read briefly from this link that Kieran sent over from the London Review of Books, David Adler and Anton Jaeger. It's a pretty good summary. It's pretty short. Anyone interested should just read it. I'll just pull out a few parts. It's a lot of it's summary of, if you listen to the show, what you probably know. We have the pigs, Portugal, Italy, Greece, Spain, who demanded that the Eurozone share the burden of the crisis with a jointly issued debt instrument known as a Corona bond. And the FANG, Finland, Austria, Netherlands, Germany, beat them back down, proposing that each member of the currency union bear its debts alone. I just think it's funny that Mario Centeno, the Portuguese finance minister and the current president of the Eurogroup, he just like, they quote him here as saying like, at the end of the day, what matters the most is that we rose to the challenge. And it's like, did you really? Like, I'm pretty sure that like we just spent so much time talking about this that we have to pretend that we came up with this big like unifying conclusion. They're literally the Sailor Moon meme where they're like, my work here is done.
Oh, you mean Tuxedo Mask, you big idiot? God,
isn't it from Sailor Moon?
It is, but
you need to watch more anime.
Yeah, but the tuxedo mask is the character's name. Come on, Rob, get it right. That's an anime that everyone
He's literally
knows.
in a tuxedo wearing a mask.
He doesn't do anything ever. And sometimes he throws
a rose.
Roses.
Yeah. He's a classy gentleman.
Yeah.
And you can agree or disagree, but the argument that the piece makes is basically that in January, like the EU was kind of feeling themselves. Like a lot of the quote unquote Eurosceptic groups were kind of marginalized or co-opted by more pro-Europe or mainstream right-wing parties. I mean, that's a dynamic we've talked about in Greece, in Austria. What that means for the future, it definitely meant for the moment a kind of consolidation of the EU. And now, who the fuck knows? Like, if I can just read from this. Germany always relied on a tacit good cop, bad cop routine with the Netherlands, whose obsessive frugalism made fiscal extremists in Germany look like humanitarians. Yeah, we can. I mean, we've mentioned it before. That I said last week I wouldn't say slurs on the podcast anymore, but it is his name. Wopke Hoekstra, this fucking dead-eyed psychopath, is the finance minister of the Netherlands. I don't know. I looked into him a little bit. His whole life, get his MBA, work for Shell, partner at McKinsey, Then become finance minister, so we can just scold Portugal for being slovenly or whatever.
Evil. He sounds evil.
He is he's Christian, and he's
What is this? What is the Central Park of Europe?
Oh, good question, Mallorca. He is a member, according to his Wikipedia, he is a member of a Christian organization, the Remonstrant Brotherhood.
Ooh. Oh,
as far as
feels very Andean Andes pact again.
As far as I can tell, they're like the Mormons of the Netherlands. So that's our buddy Hoekstra.
Oh god.
Anyway,
I hate this.
The recovery measures they introduced in the last crisis barely staunched the bleeding. By 2019, youth unemployment in Italy, Spain, and Greece was still more than 30%. COVID-19 has ripped off the plaster to reveal the carnage underneath. If Europe opts for another Merkel fudge, that's apparently when Merkel gives a small concession without changing anything, and Conte and Sanchez go along with it, then Salvini, Le Pen, and their friends need only point at the wound and state the fact.
Well, Salvini is already doing this right now. Like, there's not a day where he doesn't tweet, and where he doesn't tweet about Germany.
Oh,
Same.
Italy is super fucked right now. Do you know who? Yeah. I posted it earlier on Twitter, but fucking hell, the polls are making it look like Fratelli d'Italia is going to be like the third biggest party.
God, Mussolini.
Yeah, Caio Mussolini. He's back in the game. It's the Brothers of Italy are now. Yeah, they're back. They're polling higher than the fucking 5-star movement. So it's going to be So it's going to be La Lega in first. If there was an election held today, La Lega in first, Partito Democratica under Zingaretti will be second. Like, I think probably 5% difference between those two. Mm-hmm. And then in a good third place will be Fratelli d'Italia, which will work with La Lega. So it's just going to be just horrifying turbo right-wing government in Italy.
Sometimes I ask myself, how are you singing Bella Ciao from your balcony and vote for Mussolini? Like, there's something wrong.
People are idiots.
I'm just wondering if like Bella Ciao has become like, my sweet darling baby, I love you in Italian. Like,
yeah, probably.
I love those gangs that sing "Oh Sweetie Baby" as they heard everyone chant.
But like, there's this thing happening all across Europe of the whole, like, whoever's in power at the moment is getting a massive bump.
Of course.
This is like CDU's getting
a bump of cocaine.
Courtesy of Quarter Späti.
CDU's doing well in the polls. Fine Gael is back on top in Ireland, which is fucking weird. But then the problem you have in Italy is that the leader of the country, who has like a massive boost in approval ratings, is a non-partisan, no party allegiance, fucking like technocrat, Giuseppe Conte. He, like, there's no way to translate that to any party. So the overall bearing trend in Italy has largely stayed the same in terms of elections. They're going to go really fast.
Yeah.
Oh, Italy.
This is why I don't vote in Italy.
It's going to come back to results, and Fratelli d'Italia wins by 1 vote. And Nick's
shit.
Yeah, no, but I was out I was thinking about this because the idea then of a whatever it's called, I'm gonna call it an Italo exit because that seems like Italo disco or whatever that genre is.
Yeah, Italo disco is great.
Yeah.
That's actually potentially gonna be on the table. People are speculating.
So, people out there with EU citizenship, Nick is up for marriage?
Yeah, no joke, because the thing of the matter is that then after this, I can completely 110% understand why people would vote to get Italy out of the European Union. And I know, that'll be a hard decision if I have to vote on something like that. I get then the perks of what the EU is for me.
I mean, I mean, we had that with Brexit.
Yeah,
there's a left perspective
of course.
on leaving the EU. Yeah.
There is that one material benefit that pretty much not almost everyone, but a lot of people feel of just I have friends from Romania who live here in Berlin. What happens to them if the EU is gone?
Yeah. Well, you could still, the thing about that is that like, you could still easily have like the Schengen exist without the European Union. I think that we're too stupid to think that then, like, if you legitimately think that then like the Schengen would just disappear without the European Union, like movement, like Europe is too compact to have like you getting a visa to like go and like work in Belgium or something like that. That it's economically not beneficial for them to have a complex system like that. Germany would probably have a very complex visa system in comparison to other countries.
Yeah.
But
what's funny about that is like you can look at it from the flip side. Whereas in order to sell the growing European identity of whatever the 70s and 80s, they're like, yeah, you're European now. It means you all have to use the same money. And people are just like, oh, cool. All right, we have the same money. That's cool. Without like any consideration of like why they all want them on the same currency,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things in 2002 that was pitched of like, it will make going on holidays easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they didn't.
I mean, like,
70s and 80s.
Erasmus
It was a
Interrail.
long-term thing,
I mean,
by the way.
Ireland's old currency had nuns on it. It was probably for the best that it's gone. But like, yeah,
I really
it
like
was
seeing old like liras and drachmas that then are in like the like tens of thousands of
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of problems here, and I think unfortunately the EU is just tied up with all of them. That like while yes, the Schengen area and this like free movement of these European countries, probably through like bilateral agreements, could exist. There is that chance that the EU like blows up, that it all falls apart, and yeah, like. Germany did kind of do amnesty for British people who'd been living here of the time of Brexit.
Yeah.
But
they're not going to do that for other countries, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mightn't do that for other countries, but even if they did, the concern even with the British people was, fuck, like, what if my dad's dying and I'm gone for 3 months? Can I come back in?
Yeah.
Like, what if I have to go away for not a huge amount of time, but some amount of time?
It's funny because we know the answer to that now because of coronavirus. It'd be like, your dad shouldn't have died. You fucked up.
Yeah. But
we all know that Germany is not a country that wants the EU to fall because you
would lose all influence.
Yeah, exactly. Germany uses it as being like on top of the EU, like as an instrument of kind of like controlling the economic situation. So,
yeah.
Germany can do colonialism without a military. Yeah. Which is wild.
Thinking like a true Italian.
Yeah. Like it's the idea, like David Harvey speaks to the sense that like colonialism within like the like peripheral and semi-peripheral now is like finance capital, and Germany's really good at that. Really good at that. So
that's why I moved here.
Like we just follow our leader, the
Yeah,
well, that's my question.
Wherever it appears is the next country that we just have that Germany
exactly.
has to
it's just like
completely ransack.
Well, so that's my question now because you have like the German hardliners who are like no. So obviously they want the EU to still exist, but right now they're on a hard. And you have people like Macron saying if you take this step, then the EU won't exist anymore. But you still have the German hardliners saying no, the European Union is not for this. There's this one guy, Jürgen Stock. He wrote an op-ed in Fatsa, one of those newspapers, saying like, I'm sorry, this is not what the EU is for. Health policy is decided by individual nations. He, by the way, was a member of the executive board of the ECB and quit over the bond buying scheme from 2011. So he's like he's hardcore. And you have people like him. Oh, by the way, I looked it up.
Isn't he an FDP dude?
I don't know what party he is, but his father did own a vineyard in the German wine region.
Okay.
What is with the fucking vineyard?
He's one of the victims of the Wine Queen's expansion.
So you just have people like this, like how is that resolved? At some point, if they want to save the EU, they're going to have to make a pivot, but then still try to recuperate what their whole point is. But how exactly do they do that?
Well, it's this whole typical EU conflict, and Kieran said it before. It's like the thing. Okay, people think that the EU is more than just finance and like economics.
It's more than a feeling.
It's why they wear fucking sweaters in blue with a fucking EU flag on it and like that, and wash their hands to the song of Freude schöner Götter.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So it's more than a feeling, like you said.
Yeah.
It's Erasmus. It's like it's all of this shit. But this is like the whole thing. Like, what is the EU? Like, what is it for? Is it really more? Is it just like this economic thing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
liaison.
Yeah.
It's the contradiction, because what you're talking about, Julia, is like what it actually is versus what was sold to us.
Yeah.
'Cause like I said, like the euro was sold to us as it will be easier to go on holidays.
Yeah.
Luxembourg as a nation can function now because everyone who works in Luxembourg actually lives in Germany, France, or Belgium.
Yeah, that is true.
I guess just like one last note before we go into the next part is that then in all of this, you can join us in the EU-SSR. That is the only option. I mean this seriously. If Europe is gonna, if the EU is gonna maintain this sense of being like a set this entity, it can only exist if it has like some. Like if the EU has its own healthcare policy, if it has its own, like policies that are done overall, like, I don't give a shit if the sovereignty of fucking Hungary is stepped on over healthcare policy because, the EU would, because then a good version of the EU would give Roma healthcare. That is dog shit to me. And the sovereignty thing is used as a dog shit argument by psychopaths or by people who want to just economically ransack another country in Europe. So the only thing that then could, as in the same thing that we had with the DM25 conversation, is that then an alternative for Europe can only exist under some level of at least basic social democracy for all of the countries then within it. And that means that the European Union has to take sovereignty away from a lot of the countries within it. You do have to have like a USSR kind of model of then a centralized thing over than other states within it. Anything else then can't function if you want to pass these massive programs.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, to put it simply, sovereignty been trampled on. Like it wasn't the leftists who were the ones trampling on sovereignty to fucking build the EU in the first place and try to create this system. And that's the strategic question. Can you actually put it all back in the box? I'd say probably not. So you got to work within the system.
Oh my god, sorry, just in. Julian Reichelt.
Julia, what's just in?
Julian Reichelt, the chefredakteur of Bild.
Oh, yeah, this dude that I get messy on.
He wrote a letter to China.
I already love this, go on.
And presents him an invoice of all the costs that Germany has to face.
Oh my fucking god! Can I do the fucking thing where like Homer chokes Bart to him? God, I hate him so much. He's such a fucking prick. He's such a racist.
Writing what China is owing to Germany.
No,
now.
Germany.
Because China has to pay
God
for
damn it.
That's kind of funny, man.
Oh, that's brilliant.
There's
That's
also some casual racism in there.
Of course.
That guy's such a fucking Nazi piece of shit, and I don't care if I fucking get libeled for calling him that. He's so disgusting. Ugh. I hate him.
This is what China owes to Germany.
Nothing. Literally fucking nothing.
Oh my god.
Julian Reichelt, come on the show so I can just harass you for an hour and a half, you big bitch.
Saying that China sending face masks to other countries is imperialism.
No, it isn't.
Also saying you're able to close down every free press and social media and shit, but you can't close down all the little imbissbuden that sell all the bad soup and shit like that. So some casual racism.
I love how he frames it like a shithead complaining to a manager. Like, oh, I got bad soup at this imbiss. Someone must pay.
Oh god, if Julian Reichelt existed in the United States, he would be a dude just making videos in his car. He's so dumb.
Saying your best export is coronavirus and shit like that.
He clearly knows nothing about the
China.
Yeah, literally not true.
How is the answer to that? How is the answer to that not your best export besides everything?
It's coronavirus.
I'm sorry. I am now one of
Oh.
those weird pro overly uncritical pro China tankies now. defending China from Julian Reichert, the fucking little
definitely.
piggy at the Bild Zeitung, who very
If
clearly
this guy-
mask off, just goes full fucking 1933 when he whenever anyone like blows on him the wrong way.
If this guy takes down China with his weird like Yelp review column, China wasn't worth defending.
Can I read us all some Fiona Apple lyrics to calm us down?
No.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I know that time is elastic, and I know when I go, all my particles disband and disperse, and I'll be back in the pulse.
Do we want to do the Megarika to close out this?
Yeah.
All right. It's been a while. I've been dodging it. There's possibly even some new listeners because this is post us, like some of us being on Trash Future and us having Riley on and stuff like that. So there's some new people listening. I've seen the numbers.
By the way, about that,
yeah.
I thought Riley wouldn't come on. Otherwise, I would have been on the episode. Because
You could have saved me, Julia.
I'm sorry, Julia.
Yeah.
He decided last minute to join us.
Damn it.
All right, but I did have this Megarika prepared for that episode, but I was just like, Yuli's not on, we're not doing it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, because my new rule is we all have to be here, otherwise it fucks with the scoreboard.
Yeah.
No, I think that when Yulia's not here, it's good.
Of course it is.
She
good.
always wins. Yulia's fucking doing fucking like human growth hormones over here so that she can fucking expand her brain to
Megarika enhancing drugs.
Exactly. It pisses me off. You know what? We need to have fucking doping tests before each Megarika.
All right.
Yulia's third
So
eye is too big from listening to too much head PE.
I want to also reassure everyone listening at home that Megarika is being done. I know all large sporting events are banned, but it's just the four of us, isolated. There's no live audience, so we are doing Megarika.
we did what UFC did. We bought an island to safely conduct Megarika on.
We were
Brought
doing this
all the
from a lunar
billionaires with us
colony.
too. Yeah.
Little St. James.
Which countries did we have? Oh my god.
We couldn't, Kieran, we couldn't do it on any Little St. James-esque island because it would be home field advantage for at least one of these Megarika people.
Yo, I fucking hate that where they did the thing like the MLB did that if you win the All-Star game, then you get to like have home field advantage in the World Series. Like
It's supposed to make it
that seems to
exciting.
be happening. Yeah.
Whichever Megarika wins the competition this week will host it next week.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. So today we're doing a bit of a generational thing because I can't really talk about this Megarika without talking about his dad and his three children.
That seems
So
to
we got
run
like
in that seems to be a theme.
Family.
With a lot of things.
And also so I usually open this thing with net worth, but I do want to say that it's important you guys realize that this family is fucking hemorrhaging money. Okay, because I'm going to do something here. The net worth in 2014 was 34.4 billion.
I know who it
Next
is.
Good. What?
30 in March of 2014, it was 34.4 billion. The next year, it was 24.5 billion. The year after that, 20.8 billion. Year after that, 19.6 billion.
Yeah.
Year after that, 16.8 billion. All the way to the present day, where the estimated wealth is 13.5 billion US dollars. So here goes.
I mean, I gotta respect that. If I had that much money, I'd probably just spend it all, give it all away. Respect.
I mean, what year did they start losing money like that?
It was the peak of this guy's wealth was 2014.
Okay, what year did that 2 Chainz song "It's Mine, I Spend It"? Like I ride around not getting it. It's
Is
mine.
it 2 Chainz? Early answer.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that song came out in like 2013, I think. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else happened in 2014? That Malaysian Airlines flight disappeared. Just saying.
All the passengers were money. Okay, so why are they rich? Dead dad, fashion, and property. That is the why they are rich.
Nice.
Makes sense.
All right. So fact number 1, I'm going to start with the dead dad. The Megarika's dad founded this business in 1947 after being amazed by the shops he saw in the USA and wanted to do that in his home country. Using the fortune he made from starting a women's clothing company, he absorbed and acquired other massive retail companies selling hunting gear, pens, jewelry, and watches.
Okay, hunting gear.
Yeah. Upon his death in 2002, like an idiot, his son, the Megarika, set up a foundation in honor of him that funnels the money, the family wealth, into tax-deductible donations to train people for the company he founded via economics and management programs, and also sends money to the Megarika's son-in-law.
I just go back for a second. What did he see in the U.S. that was so impressive? Like that he's like, I have to start this and sell hunting equipment. Maybe he saw the Bass Pro Shops pyramid in Memphis and was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I need to bring this to Europe.
I mean, not gonna lie, Bass Pro Shops are sick.
Anyone who doesn't know, look it up.
Like,
Bass Pro Shops pyramid.
Yeah, if I was just like some swarthy European going to the U.S. for the first time and I saw a Bass Pro Shop, I'd be like, Mamma mia, this is the greatest country on the face of the earth.
All right. Fact number 2. This is the actual Megarika now. This Megarika took over from his dad as CEO in 1982 after successfully expanding into foreign markets. He is currently the chairperson of the board, but he's retiring this year. In 1990, he threatened to move his company overseas, which caused a law on reducing inheritance tax to pass and the repealing of several laws designed to prevent dynasties. He is one of 12 billionaires in this country. The other three of the other 11 are his 3 kids. He owns property in 3 European capitals known for expensive property markets, and in 2009, bought an entire village in Hampshire, England.
Wait, what?
He owns an entire village.
Hey, I'm buying. Who's going? Please populate my village like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
He's playing real life Animal Crossing. And then fact number 3, and this is about the 3 children. We then have the Megarika's 3 children. The oldest son was in line to be successor for the company. He's friends with the country's royal family and has recently blamed the recent poor performance of the company on conscious consumers and climate activists somehow.
Wait, what? Again.
He blamed the poor performance of the company, the family company, on conscious consumers and climate activists.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
These comments were made days before his resignation as CEO earlier this year. The youngest son studied film in London, returned to his home country and started a production company that made 2 indie films.
Oh, here we go. This is my shit now. I love rich sons making indie films.
One of which was with his indie darling director friend.
Noah Baumbach.
Oh.
Yeah, the film was about like poor trodden farmers in his country. It's a startling look at poverty in his home country. 6.7 on IMDb. Then we have.
I mean,
No, it's a reasonable. If I made a film with 6.7. Then we have the middle child, the daughter. She still works on the family company's promotions part-time and sits on the boards of the Megarika's various real estate companies. She's also a big horse girl.
like she's a centaur? Or?
She is part horse. She operates a stud farm from the castle she lives in the most expensive part of the country, spending about $2 million on each horse she buys.
It would be sick if she... I mean, if you are worth $30 billion, you should be able to turn yourself into a centaur. And then she just ruled over her army of horses, leading them into battle.
I think I know.
Again, I see why they spent their money well.
The family have been hemorrhaging money as the company has been undercut by major competitors, and the corona crisis has only exacerbated these problems.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the important thing to learn from this family is basically they had a standard of living and the company has not been doing well and they refuse to compromise on their standard of living.
The son is making
Oh my
indie
God,
films with
yeah,
a
that
$300 million budget.
Yeah.
So
It's-
sick.
This is basically the Arrested Development family.
Yeah. Awesome.
True. Yeah. Seriously.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So that's that.
Well,
So,
should I start? 'Cause I have
yeah.
no
Who's
idea.
got
You guys always know things.
Yeah. Rob, go first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go in reverse order. Whoever's got the lowest score at the moment.
Okay.
That'll be Rob.
What countries have? Can I see the map? Can I buy
Unfortunately, I don't
vowels?
have the I don't
Use
have the
it in a
map of this
sentence.
community. If you guess a country that's already been taken, I'll let you know. Don't worry.
Oh, that's so nice.
I don't know, France. I think it's a different clothing guy, but I'll say France just for fun.
Okay.
My turn.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it LVMH, France? I think it's the people who are the head holding company of Louis Vuitton.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, Yulia, what's your guess?
I think I also worked for them, unfortunately, but not as a CEO or on the board. Just on the floor.
Scrubbing the
I
horses.
think it's H&M and it's
Oh
Pearson.
shit! Yeah, fuck.
Yulia is correct again. This is the Pearson family from fucking.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Sweden.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is.
Fuck the fast fashion thing.
Really?
God damn it.
I know, and I know because I worked
climate
for them for
activists.
5 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So this is H&M and Ramsbury Investment, which is their property holding company.
Okay.
Yeah.
They own a town in England called Lincolnholt. It's it's got 21 cottages that are just empty most of the year, except for when one of these 3 fucking idiot children get married.
Oh my
I
god.
like how they. exported
I know, they're
to
fucking
another
crazy.
country.
I fucking. Oh my god! I watched the movie on the weekend.
You just watched it?
Oh yeah, my new theory. Yeah, my new theory is that's what's happened to Jordan Peterson, but not in Sweden. It's in
That is
Russia.
also an accurate representation of how the German wine queen is crowned.
Definitely.
But this is the 3 generations of the Pearson family.
I know.
You said, all right, I know
Yeah.
I'm just being a bad contestant. I actually didn't hear you say fast fashion. I think I was.
I never said fast
No,
fashion.
you said climate
Oh.
activism.
Okay.
Yeah, the stuff about the
Yeah.
climate activism.
There-
It's
there-
interesting because he has this conscious collection and shit like that, and it's kind of the reason why they started that is
Yeah.
because they were having a lot of what he said.
Oh, I'm
Like
fucking.
that.
I'm so dumb. Louis Vuitton was founded in the 19th century.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
No, it's.
But
fine.
yeah, the dad who's now dead, basically after World War II, traveled to the US, saw how big their shops were, and he was like, "Damn, gotta do that in Sweden."
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to learn a bit about the fucking company's history when you're working at. No, you don't have to, but they give you a lot about that. They have this these 15-minute meetings.
Here's your local viceroy, who's just one of the 9,000 children who controls over you.
Yeah.
The horse girl daughter rides the H&M employees like horses.
What's that thing
Yeah.
the guy the guy who owns American Apparel just comes into used to come into the stores just
Oh my
completely
God.
coked out would harass his workers
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, they were never
yeah.
hot enough for him and shit like that.
Oh,
yeah. He's a
yeah,
real piece of
young
work.
and hot.
After he sold it, but instead of coke, he just was
Seriously?
had dementia.
And murdered someone
but-
apparently. Yeah, Colonel Sanders apparently killed someone.
But there's a story. Do you guys know the story in Spain? Something like Franco, I think on every Tuesday or Thursday. I think Thursday. He wherever he was, he's I want a paella on Thursday for lunch. And so every restaurant had to prepare paella in case Franco stopped in.
Fuck.
That's what I
Oh my
mean
God.
with H&M. You have to be ready. There has to be a film set so he can just maybe the son can get very candid scene for
There's
the
always-
movie, or the daughter can
There's
draft you
always
into her horse.
there's always someone on the staff who you always see and you're just like, huh, they'd make a good centaur. You could be drafted into the beta experiments to be turned into a proper horse girl. But
I'm just saying, like, seriously, working for them for 5 years, I've seen a lot of shit.
Like so many horses, so many dead horses.
Julia could give
No,
the
seriously,
Blade Runner
the company is
speech about
fucked
things,
up.
You can't believe the things I've seen.
Yeah, seriously.
But so basically the company H&M, for anyone who doesn't know, has kind of just been like performing really poorly, and it's actually, there's no concrete evidence it has anything to do with like conscious consumers. What actually seems to be causing it is there's a bunch of companies that are able to do fast fashion, but they just have a better online presence.
Yeah.
Like things like Zalando and shit and ASOS.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know if anyone's ever tried to order from
Ordering
H&M
online
online.
from H&M is a fucking hassle.
Yeah. So that's basically why they're failing. But they just can't get the dollar to stop buying $2 million horses, or get the Get Tom person to stop making like as Rob said, $300 million budget indie films that are like run at one festival in like
That's so Swedish.
Lapland.
That like genuinely pisses me off, because it's like I finally have like money to like pay my bills and shit like that, and genuinely like just upset if I want to spend it on anything that then's like not like a necessity. And then just seeing these people like, oh, you know, 2 million, which is probably an amount of money that I'll never see in my life. Like, I'm just going to just dump that on a fucking horse.
I know.
I have to respect it somehow.
I wish I was a horse.
They're acting like billionaires should act. Like in the same way the coronavirus, whatever, made like real, like the crisis that was whatever going on that's like finally visible to everybody. It's like they're like spending like that's what billionaires are like. I'm happy they're playing their role. That you can just point to them and be like, look at them.
Yeah. Look at that, son. Don't look away. That's nature.
Wow, the billionaires are returning back to their fortresses.
Wow, I am excited. I'm sorry, I was taking your money, Mr. Passion.
But the my other favorite thing that I didn't really get to talk about, but is Horse Girl's husband, because he's like the head of this firm called TIG Invest, which, if anyone's ever seen their website, I encourage everyone at home to just Google TIG Investment. You'll get their TIG-invest.com. And like it is... Oh, hang on. No, this isn't it. Fuck what I said. But like he has an investment company that is 3 pages on the website. One is just the logo in front of a cityscape. The next page is then an about paragraph that is about like anchor families that invest in companies, and then the last page is like a contact form if you want to talk to them. And all I can find about this company is that through the foundations that this family have started, they occasionally just send that company money to keep this son-in-law running. It's very strange.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's yeah. I don't think he was a deadbeat husband, but she married someone who apparently just needs help constantly.
Like me.
Just
Would
wonder-
marry me.
I know, that could have been me, man.
Charlotte person, hello. Whatever.
I mean, she's a Swedish girl. Isn't that what everyone wants?
Not like this, as
Like,
as your torso is being sewed onto a horse.
Me and 10 other people are
But isn't that what
in a
Americans are
barn,
into?
spread eagle.
It's like, Americans are always like, oh, I'm going to go to Sweden. Oh my God.
That is the plot of Midsummer.
Okay, you say that like Americans. I hear so many people from my friends from like Southern Europe are like, damn, I want those Swedish girls. Don't blame it on the U.S.
Everyone wants
European
Swedish girls. But you know what that leads to?
I do.
Yep. You get
You're burned
Midsummer.
alive in a bear suit.
Yeah, heavy Midsummer spoilers going on.
Yeah. You just what we'll refer to it as now is you just get Midsummered, all right? Like Jordan Peterson, which is why we
get
haven't heard of him in a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna just for like.
Nick, you can cut
I
that
am
spoiler.
gonna cut that spoiler. That's probably the only thing I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
cut from this episode. So
I'm sorry for spoiling.
It's okay.
I'm that person.
I guess on that note of Yulia ruining a really great movie for all of our listeners.
Yeah. Hey, everyone out there in listener land, get Midsummered. It might be a good thing. You don't know. Watch the film.
I just googled Charlotte. What is that? Her name? Passion.
Well, that was her native. Her name. It's like Charlotte
Her native
Soderstrom
name?
now. Her native name. Yeah. She has her slave name now. It's Charlotte Soderstrom or something like that. I don't know how O umlaut works in Swedish.
All right, I have the whole family in wedding dresses.
Yeah. They're all friends
wanted-
with the Swedish royal family as well. It's all upsetting.
I just wanted to see if they're hot. You know?
No, they're not.
Pärchenfamilien ist Sveriges allerrikeste Familie. Allerreichste. Oh, sorry, I can't speak.
Okay, can we end the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.